Hello, hello, and we are coming back. Today is day 11th of our amazing masterclass series where we bring more wisdom about the money, how do we handle money, and how do we welcome money into our life. And I'm here, look at all these amazing souls that joining and just want to pour more love to each one of you, more clarity on how do we handle the money and how do we love the money. And let's just go through everybody's round and introduce yourself and tell what you are doing. Sarah, we'll start from you.
All right. I am not prepared. So, I'm a soul alignment visionary, abundance mentor. I created the Healed Process, and I've been in business for 12 years. I'll share today where I'm at in this whole money behind your bank account because I've been on both sides of it. So excited to share.
Awesome, beautiful. Thank you so much. And Jillian, can you just introduce yourself and tell a little bit what you are doing?
Yes, I am Jillian Verdun, owner of JMV Financial Services. I am an accountant by trade. However, I go by profit strategist because I have the educational element that goes with it more than just the numbers.
Yay. And today is your interview day, right?
Yes,
So
it is.
it's the release of your interview. So everybody who is joining, listening to us, and you want to have more wisdom, if you have not registered yet, there is a great time to register and just check out what Jillian is all about because it was fun interview.
It was.
Totally. Yes. Thank you. And what's the topic? Tell what's the topic of the interview.
Where money slips away.
Yes. We all want to know where do they go? All right. Thank you so much. Amy, how are you? Tell a little bit about yourself and what you are doing.
How are you? So first, I want to apologize for all of the background noise. I am at the pool and there's having a swim meet today. But like I said earlier, the good thing about being an entrepreneur is you can make your office anywhere. So I am a frequency-based healer. I help women who have chronic conditions that doctors can't quite figure out, and we uncover the emotional root cause that's going on behind it. Because similar to a money mindset, emotions and our mentality and what we think is actually what's creating our life and our pain and our problems and our issues. So I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yay, absolutely. Thank you. Excited to have you. And Krystalya.
Hi, my name is Krystalya Marie, and I teach people how to tap into their own innate healing abilities and uncover the root beliefs, the root emotions that are keeping them stuck from healing. And healing doesn't just mean health issues. I'm talking about money issues and all types of things with health. And on my interview, I share about how I literally lost a bunch of money and sold something for over $50,000 more than the realtor said he would take the listing for. So I share how I did all that and lots more.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I love today's topic because we always come with a theme for the day. And obviously, if you want to dive deeper, you come and just join our masterclass series and learn more. But today we want to touch on the topic of energy, right? Because a lot of times we're just sitting in our head, not realizing that it's not just about our 3D reality, but first everything is created on the energetic level and then it comes to our physical reality. So let's talk a little bit what we mean by saying the energy behind our bank account. Sarah.
Yes. So I'm going to take it from two different sides here because I've been on both sides. So your bank account isn't shaming you. It's showing you, what is it showing you? So it's showing you where energy, trust, and alignment got scattered, strange, or even siloed. And it's inviting you back into wholeness. So just so you're aware, in case your bank account isn't reflecting what you want it to. Again, I've been on both sides. So this isn't punishment. It's a pause. a sacred mirror, a divine recalibration, not a verdict, but exactly more like an invitation. So your energy isn't off, it's evolving. So I've been on both sides of that abundance. And right now, I'm in a sacred season of deep recalibration, energetically, emotionally, and financially. So what if our bank accounts are not proof of worth, but mirrors of where we're meant to align with trust, integrity, and soul wealth? And that's the real work. And that's what I'm journeying through right now.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing. Jillian, how about you?
Yes. So when it comes to energy and your bank account, I tell people you are what you attract. So if you're not in good spirits or having positive energy, then your bank account's going to reflect the same thing. And we have to be very cautious on what we tell ourselves subconsciously and self-talk, because that's exactly what's going to happen. If you understand and you tell yourself, oh, well, I feel broke all the time, well, then your bank account's going to reflect that. You're going to feel broke. If
Mhm.
you reframe your mindset when it comes to these things and say, oh, well, I feel broke, reframe that thought and everything else, because money goes where it is positivity and it likes to flow that way. It don't like chaos, it likes clarity. So if your bank account is not where it needs to be, you need to get clear on to why it's not where you
Mhm.
want it to be.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you. Amy, how about you?
I'm actually going to play off of what Miss Jillian just said. So it's kind of like if you go into the grocery store and you're penny pinching and you're like, I really would love to start eating healthier, but healthy food is just so expensive, and you're counting all of the pennies and you don't buy the avocados and you don't buy the whatever. Well, then you're always going to be in that mindset, because every time you go into the store, you're going to be thinking, oh, I can't afford to eat healthy, right? And so it's just this continuous loop that you put yourself in. Whereas if you go into the store and you're like, I want to start eating healthy, money is not an issue, right? I can buy the healthy food, I can get the fruits and vegetables that I need, I can get all of my proteins, all of the things, whatever. Well, then every time you go into the store, that's going to be your mindset. And so it's just kind of, it's a reflection of what you're thinking and also what you're doing too, right? It's not just the mindset, it's the mindset
Mhm.
mixed with the physical action. So yeah,
Mhm.
great conversation, y'all.
Yes, I love it because, and I love what you brought to the table of, the alignment, that our actions have to match our desires. Because just thinking that we want to have more money, but not actually showing it in our actions, again, if we are constantly coming from the scarcity each time we are doing something, we are always going to be reflecting the same reality again and again. So our job is to catch ourselves in the right time. What is our thinking and what is our action? So we know that we can just shift our energy and experience something different. Because if we want to be that wealthy version of ourselves, we always want to ask ourselves, what would this wealthy version do? How would that version think, and how would that version act, right? So that's exactly where everything starts, from the energetic. And hello, Virginia. All right, Krystalya, how about you? What is your input on that?
I'm not sure I can add a whole lot. I think everybody covered most of it. But one of the things I look at, and it was something that happened with me, is I started believing that all the wealthy people were greedy and didn't care about others. So you have to look at the other side too. Do you think that way and you block the money because you see everything as, oh, those people are greedy, they don't care about other people, and you don't want to be like that. And I now have the saying, money's the power is power to do good.
Totally. Right. Exactly. There are so many wealthy people who are contributing to this world, because I always say that we do not want to have more wealth for the sake of ourselves. We
Right,
look at it, like with more like inclusive vision. And we say that with more money, we can do more good for this world,
right,
right?
yep,
And when we stop putting ourselves first, because a lot of times people say, you know what, I'm comfortable where I am, I do not want more money. It's just like very close-minded thinking. Because if you start thinking more expansively in terms of, okay, let's include everybody else into this picture. How can I support the causes that mean for me more with more income, right? That I can contribute because now I am in the space that I can do that. That's a completely different thinking and the mindset, right?
Right.
Yes, thank you. And Virginia, welcome. We are just kind of going around. Just tell a little bit about yourself. What are you doing and how you're helping the people? And so you can answer the same question. What do we mean by energy of money and why energy comes first before the bank account?
That's such a great question. So I'm Virginia Asher. I have been a financial planner for almost 30 years. I've been studying financial behaviors, the psychology of money, behavioral finance for about 15 years. And I do a lot of financial education, financial literacy volunteer work, and financial coaching and mentoring. And because I started with my education in finance, I got the theory part of it first, right? And then I started working with people and looking at myself and the people around me and realizing that the theories are fine, but that's not how things really work. And once we understand that money flows in and out of our lives based on how we want to attract it and spend it, then we can change how big our bank accounts are, I guess. would be the way that's, So I know someone who helps people all the time, but she's always in debt. And I think, if she had a different situation, could she help them more or in a different way that would help them longer term? Or, people that support someone else, what happens to them? What happens to that person you're supporting when something happens to you? And that energy you're putting into supporting that person could go into helping them become maybe independent on their own. And because my own beliefs caused me to believe that no one would take care of me and I need to take care of myself, I have lived my life to become at least somewhat successful. And that has actually allowed me to help people when it really came down to the nitty-gritty of things. Not that I'm doing handouts, I'm just not that person, but when someone really needs help, I can be there for them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the energy that we put into how we're looking at our money.
Mm-hmm. I love what you say. And, this is another question that I want to bring the floor for, to open that for the conversation, because like you mentioned, Virginia, there are a lot of people who are helping others, but they are not seeing that overflow, right? Again, it's not just about being helpful. There are many other pieces that have to be together, right, in order to see that overflow. And I just wanted to open up the floor for the discussion on, like a lot of people are saying, but I watched so many different YouTube's videos and I know about it. So let's talk to these people who say that they know about it, but they do not see the results. Sarah, what comes to you when I say that?
I don't know what I need to say about that, because I received that a lot with the concept healed. Divine gave me the concept. I put together a process, and I hear that often. Oh, I've been studying this for 25 years, 30 years. I've been in this spiritual work. I know everything there needs to know about law of attraction, and I know it already. Are you healed? Are you wealthy? are you where you want to be? For me, it's the embodiment, is the piece, and it's the divine legacy living part of it. And so, but we're all, I don't want to have that come across as like judgy, because again, I've been on all spectrums of getting my shit together and having $25,000 repeatedly in the bank with all expenses paid and then in debt. So I don't want to come across like I'm going to shame people for not being where they want to be. Again, going back to what I said before, the bank account isn't shaming you, it's just showing you. And so if you do feel like, oh yeah, I know everything, I've been doing this, I've been watching all the YouTubes, just check in and see if you're living it. And if what we're saying aligns with you, and if there's anything, maybe there's an emotion, like Amy was saying, maybe there's emotion that needs to be released. Maybe you have a hidden block or belief that you're like, what the world? Well, the last live we were on, I had a huge aha just while sitting here. And I was like, oh my God, I have received with ease my entire life. I have guilt and shame around receiving with ease. Well, guilt and shame completely block receiving. So I didn't know it. So, it's all coming in. So you give it grace.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jillian. What do you think? What comes for you?
So it's funny because Virginia mentioned helping others and putting yourself out there. And I am big into money archetypes and identifying what type of relationship or person you are with your money. So I did the quiz, and I'm a nurturer. So I am that person that Virginia is asking about. And I realized I was putting myself in a position to help everybody else. And then it put me in a bind in some circumstances, not all, but majority of the time I'd put everybody else first versus me. And then I had to identify how to utilize that to a strength and look at ways that I'm able to help people besides financial, and then become a good steward of my money. Because if I kept getting it in and I was providing, and then all I would do is turn around and give it back out, then that was hindering me and my energy for my bank account for me to get to and accomplish the goals that I wanted to get to for myself and my family. So identifying what your relationship is with money and knowing the type of person you are is key, because then you can leverage your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes down to it and alter how you're a steward of your money.
Love it. Thank you so much. Virginia, how about you?
I'm just listening to them. I don't even remember what the question was now at this point, but they had such good points. I want to be over here taking notes.
A lot of times people are skeptical. They say, you know what, I watched it, I know about it, and how come my results are not there?
Yes. And, when you asked that question originally, the first thing that came to mind is whenever it's not even about money. Anytime that you start with, I already know, you're closing off. I have run across so many people who think they are so open-minded. If you think you're open-minded and you ever say the words, I already know, you need to relabel yourself as not open-minded. Okay? Reassess. And on that point, I took a class in strategic thinking when I was in grad school. And at the same time, I was doing some outside study where they were talking about how you really look at sources of things. And one of the things that I've been doing with people in the past few years is when they come to me with a belief that they're really strong in, I ask them if they can go research the other side of it, right? So when you come across something like 70% of the financial information on TikTok is false, incorrect, wrong, right? So you come across this, you're like, it sounds amazing. I should definitely do that. The first thing you should do is go on whatever search engine you like and say, what is the most terrible thing about this? Or if someone's saying that this is terrible, go find out, why is this not terrible? And if you don't want the AI thing at the top, put a swear word in your search. It works. I did not come up with this. Someone told me about it, and it works. So I think when we're talking about money beliefs, that is exactly the same thing. I had a student in a 12-class program who heard us talk about insurance. And she went and changed her insurance based on that. And she came back to us in class several classes later. She says, I just want to tell you that I had this belief that insurance is a scam because everyone in my family believes this. And after that class, I went and changed my insurance. And I wasn't going to say anything, but I got in a car accident last week. And if I had not changed my insurance, I would not have a vehicle to go to work and to school. And it was such a moment for all the people in the class to realize we're holding these beliefs that we've just grown up with or heard or assimilated. And when we start to get information that contradicts it, we have different choices. And a lot of people will just say, those people are wrong because I believe this. And if you're doing that, please reassess whatever the belief is. We're in a very polarized time right now. I just suggest everything you believe, go look for the information about the opposite view. And if it's something about your money, talk to a couple of coaches. You know, when you go to financial planners, I personally don't know any financial planners that will take you on as a client if you have not talked to more than one financial planner. They want to make sure that you have talked to multiple people and that you're a good fit. And I think a lot of financial coaches are like that as well. A lot of different types of coaches are like that. You want to make sure that you're getting different opinions. And sometimes we have clients that are just looking for validation on their views, and we can give them options. You know, so I think that's all. I'm sorry. I went way off on a tangent.
No, that's awesome. Thank you, Virginia. Thanks for
Make sure you put that swear word in your search.
That's what the takeout from Virginia's conversation,
Yes.
right? Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Annie. What do you think?
I want to kind of piggyback off of what Miss Virginia was saying a little bit earlier, where you don't know everything. Like, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but we had a different teacher for every single subject growing up. And then it's like you graduate, you go to college, whatever it is. But once you finish school, all of a sudden you're a big girl, you're a big boy, and you can do everything on your own. Like, we didn't even know how to wipe our butts or walk without somebody teaching us. What makes you think that you should do like all of these big major things without having someone help you and guide you? And if you think that you know everything, you don't. You can always learn. Even if you're learning the same thing that you've already learned, hearing it said a different way makes different aha moments. So like I have coaches that coach pretty similar things, but hearing one of them say it and then hearing the other one say literally the exact same thing, but in their own manner, in their own way, it sets off different patterns. It makes me think of different things. So it's like, don't think that you know everything. Even if you do know a lot, you can always learn more. Don't limit yourself. You're limiting yourself, like Miss Virginia was saying, by saying that you know it all. So stop saying that.
I love that. Krystalya, what about you?
Well, everybody covered so much, I'm not sure what to add here, but I think
save you for the last.
One of my sayings all the time is that, first of all, you never want to be the smartest person in the room. If you think you are, you're wrong because you need to be able to be open to learn, be open to the experience. And I definitely love what I think it was Amy said about hearing the same thing from multiple people. That's so important. Sometimes you hear it 100 times before suddenly it hits home. And the other thing is you can learn and learn and learn, but if you don't apply that knowledge, applied knowledge is the only thing that's going to get you anywhere. Otherwise, you got lots of stuff you've learned out of a book and you never apply it, so what?
Mm-hmm. So true, yes. And I just wanted to add that, it's one thing when we know, but it's another thing, as Sarah mentioned, when we leave it, right? Because the idea is we can watch somebody playing the guitar, but unless we start playing that guitar, we can never say that we know how to play the guitar, right? So the idea is we do not just consume the information, but we are involved in the transformation. And transformation is happening when we are actually doing it, when we are actually living through it, when we are actually not afraid to experiment and see where it's going to take us. And that's where the open mindset comes together. What Virginia mentioned, that when we have the corner of our mind open for the possibility, we start seeing the opportunities, because now we are open for them, right? Before we were closed and saying, okay, I know it all, it doesn't work, it just, a bunch of baloney. And people continue living the same life for, many, many years, because nothing is changing when nothing is changing. So that's the invitation from today's conversation, is just like really asking yourself deep questions and asking yourself, what is my situation with money, and how can I make it different? And again, just the simple answer, joining our event is going to be the great step for you to take in order to experience something different. Because again, multiple speakers with different topics from different angles with different gifts that everybody's sharing is going to definitely open something for you. And I promise you are going to walk away with being a different person, because now you learned something and now you can apply and see how it works for you. Right? So again, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thanks to everybody who was sharing the panel today. Register for the event, and for everybody who is watching, we celebrate you, we love you, and continue working on yourself, because this is the continuous process. We are never done until we are breathing, because we are here to grow and evolve. And each time we are moving from one awareness to another level of awareness, we are becoming better in all areas of our life, including financial. Thank you so much, and see you on the next episode tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.